Hi, my name's Panther. You're watching my video review of the Vape Moar juices. Now, this is going to be my first review. I didn't see any video reviews of it. I don't know if you necessarily need a video review for a juice, but I decided, look, there's an empty spot. Let's fill it. So the really interesting thing about the Vape Moar juices that you can find at vapemoar.com is that they're very inexpensive. So inexpensive that I'd be kind of worried to try them to begin with. That's one of the reasons that I said, well, I'll take a risk. Basically, they have two sizes and two sizes only, 15 milliliters or 120 milliliters. Today, we're going to be sampling the 15 milliliter packs, primarily because those are the ones that are cheap. Today we're going to be sampling the 15 milliliter packs. That's because the 15 milliliter, you can get a sampler pack, all 10 of their flavors. They've only got 10 flavors total for $20. So that's 150 milliliters for $20. There's a few flavors here that I'm not really anxious to try, but it'll be interesting to see what they're like, and a lot that I am really interested in trying. We'll go through each one. I'll give you an idea of what it tastes like. Now, I do want to mention, and I'll bring it over when I get through the actual flavor list, that they did say that a lot of their higher VG juices, as you go through, are actually recommended for tanks and not drippers. Today, we're going to be using a dripper only. Well, maybe two different drippers, but drippers, period. So as we try each flavor today, what we're going to be using is a Sigali 150 watt box mod. I'm going to have it set to around 43 watts. That's what I usually use. You'll be able to find on their website descriptions of the wattages and temperatures that they recommend for each flavor. And some of them actually have variable wattages and temperatures that they say you get different experiences from. So something you can try yourself. We're going to be using the Mad Hatter RDA. That way I can easily flip open the top, get it right on those coils, flip it back on, because I don't want to drip a whole thing each time. So let's go through each one and see what they're like. We're going to try one called Tropical Tort. Oop, there it is right here. So Tropical Tort, and it's listed as a something, doesn't matter because that's the wrong paper, something. Blah, blah, blah. Third time's a charm, am I right? Alright. Tropical Tort, which is listed as a subtle blend of exotic flavors that is as memorable as a tropical vacation. Kind of like the summer vacation we'll talk about later. So basically, it's a 72 VG 28 PG ratio, and they're saying that it's difficult to pick apart any one flavor. You'll notice hints of bright citrus, cream, and then a little pastry crust. So we'll give that a shot right now. We'll just put one drop on each coil. Boop, boop. It's important to make that sound when you can. I will try not to make it for the rest of the video. For those of you watching at home. Those of you not at home, turn up your volume, rewind, and listen to that sound. So, I get the citrus, the cream, a little bit of pastry. Now, the thing about this one is they do recommend that this one is for a tank, not necessarily a dripper. It's odd because a lot of their high VGs, they generally tend to recommend for tanks, which I thought was weird because you would think that you would want a higher VG inside the dripper, which is what most of, your premium brands go for. So before we continue on, just to cover it, a 15 milliliter bottle is $3. A 120 milliliter bottle is only $20. So if you buy the sampler pack for $20, you get 10 15 milliliter bottles, and it gives you an idea of what each one is, and then you can try to find whatever your favorite all-day vape is, then get 120 milliliters of it for only $20. That's a pretty impressive deal. So I've really enjoyed what I've gotten so far. we'll see as we continue throughout the review. But the Tropical Tort definitely not topping my list. But again, in all fairness, they recommend it be in a tank. If you go to their website, vapemoar.com, you'll be able to see what all of their wattage descriptions are, temperatures to run it in, and whether it should be a tank or a dripper. So next one up is going to be a Fruity. This one, it's just described as kind of a fruit blend. And you'll see in a moment, it's pretty good. Let's take smell here. It almost smelled to it, which is interesting. So we'll see what it's like. Oh, that is good. Oh my goodness. Again, I think this might be one that they recommend for a tank because of the high fruits, but there is a slight melony flavor to it. Melony, not the name, but an actual melon flavor. But you do get a lot of rich fruits, maybe a little bit of pineapple. And I'd say, and I'm trying to see if they've got a list at all, but it's hard to tell. Maybe a slight hint of watermelon, not much, but a lot of richer, tartar fruits. It really, I think, gets to the point that they're saying it is not too sweet. It's definitely a lot more tart as far as the fruit, but it tastes this one right now, and we'll see how it goes after a while. But this one, Fruity, looks like it made up for the purchase, even if everything else is a bomb. So that's good. Next one that we're going to look at is Prince Pucker, which sounds like a very poor name. But it says, it's not your mouth watering, it's your taste buds crying with joy. I don't know if I want my taste buds to cry. Either way, interesting description. I like all of their descriptions. They have a lot of fun with what they do, and you can tell that. So they say, this Upstart e-liquid is a faithful green apple vape without the overly candy notes that plague every green apple flavor on the market. While we love green Jolly Ranchers too, there's a lot more to ruling a kingdom than one version of one flavor. Prince Pucker is our interpretation of a ripe and sweet green apple with subtle hints of sour pucker that everybody loves, but nobody's in love with. Again, like I said, pretty witty stuff. You can read the rest on the website. It's a 75 VG, 25 PG ratio, and we'll give it a shot here. So as you can see, a much clearer liquid than the others. Some people have said that they've got them and they've been steeped pretty well beforehand. They recommend if you want to steep it. It just depends on when the actual batch was created. And I put way too much on the wick. So this is going to be interesting because I wanted one drop and instead I filled the whole thing. So we'll go through it or switch to the other RDA because of that. Throw that down there. Now, the advantage with some of these being tankable flavors is I think they'd be better in the turbo, which I may switch to only because I get some muted flavors in the turbo RDA. So these might, pop even more where you still get that flavor, not the muted tones. Yeah, that is very, very sour apple. It does have some sweet notes, but like they said, it's not overly sweet, and I have to agree with that. Again, 75-25. That is a very, very rich apple flavor. So, again, something that I would vape regularly. I'm going to definitely call this a win in the $20 column right now. So Tropical Tort wasn't great, maybe better in the tank. I may throw it in the Kanger at some point. But Fruity and Prince Pucker, the worst named one yet, really carried it. So very strong, very fruit flavors with the tart. And the thing is, I do like the sweet and fruit flavors, but having that extra tart that just you know, just kind of suck it in kind of deal. Okay, let's not say suck it in with Prince Pucker. And cut that one out. Anyway, point is, it's got that bite to it, that tart bite that you don't get with a lot of the fruit flavors unless they say they're a sour flavor. And even then, I've had trouble with sour flavors with other folks. Just try to clear this wick out a little bit. Okay. See what it looks like? Yeah, that's good. All right. Next one up on our list is Berry Bomb. Now, this is one that's interesting that I've wanted to give a shot to because I do have some concerns with Berry Bomb. And the main thing is that basically it's supposed to be a mixture of summer berry and seed fruits, but also watermelon. Okay? So it leads with watermelon, and you'll taste it from start to finish, which is true. If you've had any watermelon flavors, I've never had them where you can just be like, oh, watermelon, we're done. But they say that it blends well. They've got the watermelon and then the berry flavor. So we'll give that a shot and see what that's like. And this time I think I'll actually just put the drops on the coil like I planned to before. Oop. Or in the coil. Okay. It's good. And as you can see, the Berry Bomb is a deep red color. I'm colorblind, so I have to assume it's red. If it's gray, brackish, or some kind of brown, feel free to comment and let me know. So, let's give that a shot. Oh, that's nice. That is very nice. I believe this is, Berry Bomb, is a 60-40 ratio. It's one of the ones they recommend for drippers, and man, you do get the watermelon, but you do get definitely strawberry, a hint of raspberry, but they mix very well. Okay, so we're definitely in the plus column right now as far as flavors go. Definitely some that I would order again. Yeah, that's very nice. The watermelon is not overpowering, which, as you know, I thought going into it, it's going to be a problem with that watermelon. But man, oh man, let me tell you. Oh man! No, really, that Berry Bomb is the bomb. You know, stupid, but it's really good. So, okay. Next up is Summer Sweetie. Summer Sweetie is listed as, are you ready for a summer vacation one puff at a time? Well, probably not. So the interesting thing is another watermelon flavor. It's listed as watermelons are ripe to the vine, and at their most delicious. Anyone who's ever tried one of these ripe, juicy treats knows the true love. We've captured the love and bottled it just for you. This is no candy e-liquid. We've worked hard to give you all of the watermelon flavor and sweetness without the additives that make a lot of e-liquids cloyingly sweet. Cloyingly. You'll love the thin but powerful flavor, just like a real watermelon. It's a flavor you can vape all day, blah, blah, blah. VG-PG ratio 78-22, so 78 VG, 22 PG. Another thicker one, and again, I believe this is one they recommend for a tank. We're going to be using it in a dripper. Now, we just came out of another watermelon flavor. It's his little cat. He's going to squeak it. Okay. So, the another watermelon flavor, we just came off of a watermelon flavor, so it's going to be interesting to see what this actually vapes like. Too many amps. Another watermelon flavor. They say it's a light watermelon flavor, and like I said, I believe recommended for a tank. Give it a couple drops here. Oh yeah, you can smell the watermelon coming off of this. Now again, I've had bad luck with watermelon flavors. Berry Bomb pulled it off. And I think Berry Bomb pulled it off because of the tart of the berry flavors with it. We'll see how this one goes. It's supposed to be a light watermelon flavor. Okay, it's not bad. It's I am getting a little bit of a burnt flavor, which might be one of the reasons they recommend a tank. But these are fresh wicks, fresh coils rolled specifically for this taste test. But it's a really good watermelon flavor. You really get the watermelon. It's not too sweet, but it's sweet enough. I like the berry bomb better, where we've got that tart finish with it. But this does carry it through. So like I said, maybe better in a tank, but definitely not bad. It's every other watermelon flavor I have tried from every one of the big companies, little companies, you name it. I've given it a shot. And this one's pretty good. Okay. This is one that I've been looking forward to since I saw it. This is Baker's Bean. Okay. And Baker's Bean's main description reads, "There's nothing plain about this vanilla vape." Baker's Bean is a 60-40 blend. Now, this is an interesting one. Baker's Bean is listed on their sites with multiple temperature ranges, saying that you get something different, a little bit of a different flavor depending on what voltage or wattage you're vaping at. Or if you've got temperature control, you can actually set it right for where you would want it based on their description. They do recommend both tanks, drippers and tanks for this. Like I said, read their website, get the full list. But they say, "It's always a wonder that people use the word vanilla to describe something simple and plain. Vanilla is a cornerstone flavor. It's used in everything from soft drinks and coffees to cakes and savory dishes." Well, maybe it is. I wouldn't like vanilla in a savory dish. But Baker's Bean, we focused on the truest vanilla bean flavor that you could make. Basically, it continues on. They say that you don't get the same oiliness that you get with other vanilla flavors. And I will say this, if you look, it's a very light color for the juice, which a lot of vanillas you'll see very, very dark. So hopefully this one lives up to my expectation. We'll see. Drop a childproof cap. I'm not a child. Nope, childproof cap. I'm not a child. All right. Couple drops there. By the way, all of these are at 4 milligrams nicotine. That is good. You definitely, I will say, I do get the slight aftertaste that I've gotten with many other vanillas, but the upfront kick is not so high that it's a problem. This would definitely be a vape again flavor. So I'll vape it again. I need a thing. Everybody has a thing on the YouTube. Okay. All right, this is interesting. I didn't think I had this one so soon, but this is Mellow Gold. Mellow Gold is their tobacco flavor. Okay. It's a 90-10 VG PG. 90-10 for a tobacco flavor. And again, the weird thing is all of their high VGs, they recommend in a tank, not a dripper. So we'll see how it goes, but basically they said that it's a tobacco blend carefully crafted for the ex-smoker. So they say if you're an ex-smoker, you'll appreciate the time and effort we put into this flavor. Most vapors don't like tobacco flavors that taste too much like tobacco, so we've amped up the subtle and mellow tones of well-aged tobacco and added hints of caramel and nuts. It's very similar to a traditional RY4 flavor. Now, I will tell you this. I have had a couple of different RY4 clones that have not been great, but I always keep one around just in case my stupid brain's like, hey, have a cigarette. And I'm like, why on earth do I want a cigarette, stupid brain? I don't know. It's stupid. So that's the way it works. You're like, hey, blah, blah. Oh, someone's smoking. I want to smoke. It's like, no, I'm a vapor now. Been a vapor for years. Need to stop smoking. So I like to have a tobacco flavor around to give it a shot. So this is going to be their RY4 equivalent. Yeah, I definitely, you can smell that tobacco. Whoo, doggies. Get that there. But again, I like to keep them around just in case my brain decides to act the fool, as it were. Nobody likes to act the fool. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. There is very little tobacco flavor in here. You can taste it, but it's a hint. It is definitely not overt. I think they've nailed it as far as getting a tobacco flavor in without making it too tobacco-y, which again is surprising. I've been very happily surprised by this company thus far. I'd say that you get the notes of nut far more than you get of the tobacco. The caramel is just a hint. It's got a sweet level there. Yeah, not a whole lot of tobacco. Very little tobacco flavor. It might be just enough for somebody transitioning off to realize, yep, this is doable. I can do this. So I like that. Anything that gets people to stop smoking, I'm all about. So let's move on, shall we? The next one is Cafe Cream. Surprised I have it this early. So we're down to our last three. Now, Cafe Cream had an interesting listing. Let me find that real quick. Cafe Cream. Okay, so Cafe Cream is listed as a coffee vape you'll want to start every day with and maybe finish the day with too. Now, the interesting thing they state is it's got coffee, a little bit of their cream, and so basically it's coffee with a touch of caramel cream for a spot-on caramel macchiato flavor you've got to vape to believe. It says, not everyone drinks their cup the same, and we get that. But even if you're not a flavored coffee drinker, you'll enjoy the dark roast flavor without the bitterness most coffee vapes struggle with. Final result, premium quality coffee e-liquid. 83 VG, 17 PG. As you can see, like most coffee vapes, very dark liquid. Well, okay. The darkest liquid they have, maybe not super dark compared to others. So this one's going to be definitely an interesting go. Now, they've made a lot of lofty promises in their earlier... Wow, that's kind of bent there. Crack that down. They've made a lot of lofty promises in their earlier vape descriptions about flavors being light enough. Coffee is another one of those ones that I don't vape because they're all very, very strong. So, I mean, if you like black coffee, then that might be the way to go. But they usually are just very bitter, not the greatest aftertaste, or they just overboard it with the sweet flavors to the point where you don't get any coffee flavor. This may be another one where we got to switch the coils for because, whew, coffee. Okay. Interesting. Probably not my cup of tea or coffee. Stupid, I know. Probably not my cup of tea or coffee, but I will tell you this. It starts sweet and finishes with that coffee flavor. It's not too overt. They were correct. It is definitely a light coffee flavor, but it is a coffee flavor. That's going to stay with you. So, I don't know if I'd reorder it, but again, if you're looking for a good coffee vape, this one does have a very nice, sweet, very sweet beginning and a really good coffee ending. So, okay, so our last two flavors are actually their menthol flavors. And the first one I'm kind of interested in trying is called Cool Customer. Now, of course, most, and this one's actually listed as a mint flavor, not a menthol flavor, and there is a reason for that. And I will bring up my description papers here, because it's somewhere on here. Ugh. First page, of course it was. All right, so Cool Customer is a 77 VG 23 PG. Okay. And again, go check out the website, see what their recommendation is. They're stating that that it's a fresh mint with a touch of sweet chocolate to make Cool Customer one, well, Cool Customer. God, I really do love their descriptions. I'm sorry, they have a lot of fun with it. So it says, tired of mint flavored e-liquids that are all menthol and not mint? Check out Cool Customer. It's a new take on the traditional mint chip flavor so many people know and love. So blah, 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 basically mint chip. Let's give it a try, shall we? And again, we'll need to be careful with these. So as you can see on this one, it's a little bit darker. Not too dark. Now, I'm worried because I have yet to find a chocolate flavor that I like. And again, throughout this review, you find that they've actually surprised me on quite a few different levels with their flavors. So we'll see if this one's a keeper or not. Here we go. Let's vape one Cool Customer. Wow. Wowie, wow, wow. They have surprised me once again. You definitely get the mint. I mean, the mint's there, but it is not an overpowering menthol. It's not a ridiculous menthol flavor. And the chocolate chip portion, it's blended just right. It does have that mint chocolate chip flavor. So, might be better in a tank. I don't know if this one would be an all-day vape, but it's pretty impressive. Yeah, you definitely get the mint flavor. The chocolate flavor is not overbearing, and that's probably why this is one of the few chocolate flavors that has not been a problem. It's probably one of the reasons why this is a chocolate flavor that's not a problem, is because it's not overpowering the chocolate level, which the artificial chocolates are just bad. They're pretty bad. So the final one on this list is the very end, and this one is called Cool Green, and this is their menthol flavor. And it basically says, for Cool Green menthol lovers, enter here. It is a 79-21 VG-PG ratio, okay? And they say it's a no-nonsense menthol. And when we say no nonsense, we mean it. So stop the nonsense, especially me. True menthol lovers rate their menthol by that impact of the first icy blast, and Cool Green dominates the competition when it comes to cool. This flavor doesn't need a lot of introduction. It's just outstanding menthol flavor that any menthol lover should make their daily vape. I can tell you right now, this is definitely one they recommended for a tank. They said dripping it's probably insane. We're going to try it anyway. So Cool Green, 79-21. Just a drop on each coil, so I hopefully don't die. There we go. Here we go. Whew. Yeah, this is Ice Blast City. If you want menthol, this is your menthol. Not a little bit sweet, but no sweet overtones. I mean, this is a straight up menthol. Oh man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to vape it even out of this coil. I can see why they recommend tank on that. Wow. If you have a cold, this is definitely the vape juice for you. Yeah, this e-liquid, don't know if it's one that I would purchase again. Might be good to have around if you want to mix with some of the other things. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to take some... Let's hit the... Ooh, that'd be interesting, but we'll hit the Summer Sweetie, which was the watermelon flavor. So we'll make kind of a mint watermelon. See how that goes. I know I'm mixing them. That's not fair. But they've only got 10 flavors, so you can mix it up, find 2 bottles of your favorite, mix them together, whatever. I like to mix things right on the coil. Plus, I need something to cut down that mint. Let's see if Summer Sweetie is going to be able to handle that. Ooh, it's like a watermelon, you know, mint bubblegum kind of thing. All right. So thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this video. I really appreciate that you made it all the way through. If you just skipped to the end, fantastic. Just to recap, a lot of good flavors, some that I was not particularly fond of, but I think they did nail the descriptions on most of them. Tropical Tort, I will admit, was the most disappointing, but again, one that I'll probably try in a tank later. Thank you so much, and have a great day. See the double gun thing. Get you every time.